GOP replies to Wyden's letter, despite bipartisan Epstein heat. Miss Lou, back to you on that Sword of Damocles take.
I think it was like there was a bill that went through. I'm not gonna be long, but there was an Epstein bill that had just gone through the Senate, and then there were 2 Republicans that voted for it. And it was Josh Hawley and Rand Paul.
Yeah, it was an amendment, actually. That was the Schumer amendment. Yeah, we were talking about it last night. Sorry, I was on a call. Yeah, it was the Schumer amendment, and yeah, it was Hawley and Rand Paul.
That right there, mate, that says so much. That's my worry, because that is such a key part of all of this. And this is the part that they are going to protect with all their might. Because these are the global bankers, this is our treasury, this is the tax to the laundry money of the CIA. It is all of the evil of that, that's part of the pedophilia. But
so I completely agree with you, Miss Lou, and I think that should be our next press is maybe to get, since they stood together on this bill, like with Massey and MTG and Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace over in the House.
It's weird if you I just Googled Petra Act, and it just 60 specific individuals and entities on this list, right? So the records described in the bill are all suspicious activity reports, which we mentioned, are SARs, related to Epstein and co-conspirators, whether indicted or unindicted, and any other third-party individual or entity that transacted with Epstein, or any entity he owned or controlled, whether directly or through any representative of Jeffrey Epstein. And there are names on here, man. Obviously Maxwell, Epstein, Kahn, Indike, Keller Hall, Southern Trust Bank, Southern Financial, Environmental Solutions Worldwide, Nautilus Incorporated, Jeffrey Epstein Virgin Islands Foundation. Why is that one interesting? Oh, there happens to be a certain congresswoman from the Virgin Islands who just got wrapped up in all of this. Interesting. That one's on the list. Scott Borgenson, JP here. The Wexner Children's Trust is on here.
Are the Pritzkers on there? Are the Pritzkers on there?
Oh, we're getting there. L. Brands, Elizabeth Johnson, Johnson & Johnson. Why is that important? The ambassador to the United Kingdom under President Trump in his first term was Woody Johnson, too. Valor Ventures, Standard Chartered, HSBC, BNB Paribas, Jean-Luc Brunel, which, of course, if you're familiar...
Peter Thiel, he's gay, correct?
We don't talk about people's... how is that relevant?
Well, because what
I'm discredit my space, bro. This is your last warning.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Greg. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me well? Or is there echo?
Yes, sir.
There's an echo.
Hold on. I'll get rid of the echo. Yeah, I think this is the ultimate fulcrum between the elites and the people, right? Since I was growing up, I saw everything secret, every war, every bombing, not told to the American people, only later revealed, and always as mistakes were made, like why we went into Libya. Oh, the French were, later we find out, this is why. So, here we have 2 kinds of audit, yet we give them more money. So, to me, I'm thinking that, this thing, if it blows open, is going to implicate what? It is going to implicate a lot of the compromise that different intelligence agencies, including CIA, have on people. But also, it's going to implicate a lot of dark funds and money that's, sloshing around and where it goes, and the webs of politicians. To me, this whole pedophilia thing is a minor thing. I don't, maybe for some people it's an emotional thing. P. Diddy had allegedly pedophilic stuff too. But to me, it's more about which institutions, what is going on behind the scenes. And what I've seen over the years is this is structural. This happens not just in the United States went to jail. And it's democracy is subverted way more in those other countries, by the way, than it is here. So I am interested when the truth, the confidence, and all this stuff. And I can understand them because you don't want chaos. But on the other hand, if they are going to be so secretive and they want to know where we spend $600 to each other so they can get taxes, they want to know who may be a terrorist, but they will not tell you how they spend trillions of dollars and what they're doing, then at some point, issues come to a head. And so I don't know. I'm just a guy observing it. but I'm curious to see what would happen when these two conceptions of democracy and stability come into conflict. I don't know if it will be stability after this. What do you all think?
If the glue that holds us together is the race, that's what I think. Let's go to Timmy. Go ahead.
Oh,
Hey guys, I wanted to build on what Maine was actually pointing out. Woody Johnson, Johnson Management Company is his family investment office. There's a revolving door between his personal family investment office, the Johnson Family Foundation, and Harvard Management. He's also an owner of the New York Jets. In addition
Don't remind
to that,
me, I'm a Jets fan. Don't remind me.
in addition to that, though, Johnson & Johnson's largest shareholders just so happen to be the LDS Church, who have been advocates of vaccinating everybody and being global citizens and Zionists. In addition to that, Peter Thiel, who is literally monitor our genes and genealogy, and the Mormon Church is very, very focused on tracing bloodlines all the way to Jesus Christ is where they think that they come from. And they are funding church planting, church planting is using private.
I don't want to get too far into the weeds away from that.
Okay, what I'm getting at, though, is Bill Gates, Peter Thiel are both advocates of the transhumanist stuff, and it's going wild with what they're doing right now. And then I tagged you earlier, I was in a space that Bill Ackman's using. This motherfucker going on a PR campaign now, trying to be the guy giving romantic advice, while he's also pushing for the public, the privatization of Fannie
Epstein.
Oh, sorry, these guys all connect to Epstein. These guys are all the names in the Epstein list, everyone that I'm talking about right now. Literally, they all connect to Epstein. Transhumanism, the mortgages, which was the vehicles. Remember the offshore fund, I'm forgetting the name of it, Liquid Funding was Epstein's offshore
Palantir is
vehicle.
getting into Fannie Mae as well, isn't it?
Candidate Abu Ghazala.
Palantir?
No, Palantir wouldn't, but Thiel would with his personal
No, I
investment.
think Palantir is integrating into the loans.
I'm
the
going to
AI,
go better
the
on
software?
everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, James Watson, the discoverer of DNA and CRISPR, was Epstein's best buddy. He went to the.
Well, that's IBM Watson.
Yeah,
What
he's
IBM
all tied
Watson?
in. Epstein was all tied into the leading AI, science, genomics. Like he was in all of that. He was into everything, right? He launched Carbine 911 with Ehud Barak, which is more emergency response software. Right? Like the dude had his hands in everything. That's why they're fighting so hard to protect it. Literally, if you live in one of 24 states right now in the USA, if you call 911, you are using Epstein software to make that 911 call, right? And there is a chance that the software, any kind of user approval, right? It can do it automatically. So I just something to consider.
Let me build on the Epstein too. That you're 100% spot on. But so IBM Watson is one of the originations. Bill Gates' mother was involved with precise genomes through the nasal swabs. I'm forgetting how to break it down, the XY chromosomes. But
by the way, Senator Rand Paul is your senator. Please, I put a post up in the Jumbotron demanding that he co-sponsor the PET Act and to it's called to action for him to sponsor the Petra Act and get that going before we run out of time on it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so the genomes, that was the only way to get it with the nasal swabs. They've been tracking our genealogical records since day one. They have tons of things.
Swabs. I'm sorry. I just can't listen
Hang on. Correct me in a
I
second.
don't want to argue about this. Come on.
Correct me in 1 second. Let me just land real quick, and then please correct me where I'm saying some things wrong, because I'm not scientific, so I'll happily hand it over. In addition, some of the pedophilia is basically a way to create Manchurian candidates.
Right? Like it's more of that partisan or that ideological, right? Like it's more of that partisan or that ideological BS I'm not going to buy into anymore. These people, all of them, regardless if they're dual citizens, regardless if they are Democrats or Republicans, they work for us, right? We are paying them. It doesn't matter. They work at the federal level. That means if you are a tax-paying citizen of the United States, they represent you, right? So we will use every single advantage that we have. Doesn't matter how shitty the hand is, regardless of who he is. When it comes to re-elect Wyden, then by all means, shit all over him for his affiliations. But until then, we extract every fucking victory that we can get. Thank you. Let's go to Patrick.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I have my Bluetooth.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting a TikTok. Former CEO of Mercy Corps, I kind of talked about that before. Why do I want to talk about that, widen the files, and be brief? Well, I've been calling Ron Wyden's office because I know Ron. I've known him since I worked with the granddaughter, Alyssa Kinnegeyer, many years ago. And I've been talking about Mercy Corps, the world's largest humanitarian group in the world. And Mercy Corps, pretty much, if you don't know anything about them, a couple years ago, it came out in the news that my mentors, my state representative, and her husband, the CEO of Mercy Corps, covered up the fact that Ellsworth Culver, their friend, dead friend, and former CEO, had been raping his daughter.
And this is going to come back to Epstein.
Yes, absolutely. So I have been saying for years to Ron House, it was selling their headquarters, thank God for Doge. But what am I talking about with regards to Ron Wyden, the Mercy Corps connection, and why all this makes sense? Well, the other day I searched on that, there's like a journalist site, I forget the name of the site, that put out that searchable files of emails from the estate. And that's not all the files, as we know, it's just some from the estate. So I went searching, I looked for Neil Kinnegeyer, and boom, his name popped up. It vindicated everything I said from like 10 years before when I had pulled photos off Alyssa Kinnegeyer, J.C. Penney's Facebook, where she's got, Rockefellers and Soros and people like that commenting on those from Davos. Almost nobody in the world really knows who that lady is because she pretended not to be the granddaughter of J.C. Penney, just a little state legislator in Oregon. And only those who really knew had access to her Facebook. And if you were in that Facebook, you would see Rockefeller, Soros's. And I screen grabbed all that and downloaded it and alleged for years that Neil Kinnegeyer wrote the plan to rip off Haiti inside Davos in 2011 because his wife took the photos and put them on Facebook, which I have. Now, the last thing I'll say is huge vindication for myself and many other people, because anyone who has a piece of the puzzle to the Epstein files, we've been alleging a lot of things with the estate. It was interesting. The only time I found Neil Kinnegeyer's name was the 2011 Davos list. But I have the photos of him writing the plan to rip off Haiti because his wife was there and took the photos and put them on Facebook. But why was his wife, Alyssa Kinnegeyer, who was there and took the photos, her name not on the list that just came out from the Epstein estate? Epstein had a list of all the 2011 Davos attendees.
Brought up for a couple of people, and the reason that was given when I asked, because it wasn't just, I can't predict the other question that we ran into this was, because she wasn't like a key speaker or a notable figure, right? She was a coinciding guest of him, right? And that's why she wasn't mentioned. But that, I mean, I'm not saying that was the excuse that I was given.
It makes a lot of sense because, like if you're not the main speaker on the stage, that would make a lot of sense and it tracks. But also, she uses that as well because she's also heavily connected to the Clinton Global Initiative as well as her husband. I believe they're founding members from the old photos I saw on their Facebook, which they deleted when Trump got elected, but they didn't delete the fucking Haiti photos and stuff. So they were sloppy about this. Someone told them delete the photos of you and Hillary and Bill bragging about being founding members of the Clinton Global Initiative. I never understood why Alyssa Kinnegeyer deleted those right after Trump got elected, but didn't delete the other ones that were incriminating. It's because somebody probably gave her an order, hey, just got elected, he was threatening something about Epstein in 2015, the primary. We don't know where his crazy train's going to go. Delete some of these photos that he's taking you and Hillary and Bill because they were investigating the Clinton Foundation right when Trump got elected. And Neil Kinnegeyer was literally
the fact that foundation still exists is mind blowing.
Absolutely. And the last thing
Did he just rug out?
Okay, I'm gonna restart this.